All right, good Monday morning, everyone. It is Happy President's Day out there. We have a major winter storm on our hands coming in late tonight into tomorrow and lasting into Wednesday. And then after this storm goes through, pipe busting cold is going to be coming down with wind chills as low as 10 to 20, possibly 30 below zero across parts of the area. So let's get right into it. But first, if you're on Facebook, hit that like button. Basically tells Facebook that you want to see more of our content. Smash that like button for us. Comment where you're from and share this with your friends and family. That'd be great for our page. If you're over on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's basically like following a page on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button, hit all notifications, and you will be notified every time we go live over on YouTube as well. And smash that like button over there as well. All right, let's get right into it. As you can see on your screen here, basically nothing going on right now except our storm system is starting to enter in up here into northwestern parts of the United States. It's going to basically dive south and then link up with this subtropical jet that's coming into parts of Southern California, into the Baja of California as well. And then the Gulf's going to open up, and it's just going to create an absolute mess. And I'm going to tell you, southwest flow usually overproduces, overproduces compared to what models are showing. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. All right, here's the latest watches and warnings across the United States here, the advisories. So anything in the purple is winter weather advisories extending up to parts of the northwestern parts of the United States. and then back here into parts of Nebraska, Missouri, into northern Kansas here. Then winter storm warnings are in effect, basically from eastern Kansas to northeastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, far northern Arkansas as well, far northwestern parts of Tennessee, that is, and most of, like I said, most of southern Missouri. And then we have winter storm watches because there's a little bit more uncertainty. But I do expect as we get towards this afternoon, some of these will be upgraded to either advisories or warnings. Basically, watches just south of this, a winter storm warning down here in northeastern Arkansas through Memphis, up here towards Nashville, most of Kentucky here, through southern Illinois, um, through St. Louis. Like I said, a lot of uncertainty on whether the snow is going to meet or beat the criteria up that way. So that's why nothing has been upgraded yet that way. And then winter storm watches out this way. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's going to happen down here on the I-40 corridor, basically from Oklahoma City to Little Rock over towards Memphis? Well, like I said, lots of uncertainty. It's basically up to the National Weather Service what's going to happen, but there's going to be a big mess, basically a slushy, freezing rain, sleet, snow, so they got to iron all that out. But the most certain is up here in this winter storm warning areas where there's going to be some very heavy snows, and in excess of a foot in some places that way. All right, let's go over to the Weather Prediction Center site as we have the Winter Storm Severity Index. Let's go over this really quick. Moderate to major impacts, basically from parts of Oklahoma over towards northern Arkansas, most of southern three-quarters of Missouri. Some moderate impacts. As we go down here, it says hazardous driving conditions, closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. Up here in the red, basically in parts of northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, basically along the I-44 corridor. Major impacts. Expect considerable disruptions to daily life. Dangerous or impossible driving conditions and widespread closures or disruptions to infrastructure may occur. Now, I think in time, as this updates later on today, I think a lot of these major impacts will be down into parts of northern Arkansas, and then these moderate impacts will be basically down towards parts of I-40 and north of there, from basically Little Rock to Memphis and north of there. So here's the deal. With this winter weather coming in, the roads are going to turn to trash really quickly, and the roads are, unless they're, I mean, there's a lot of pre-treating going on. I know in Arkansas, they do a great job pre-treating the roads. On the other hand, we're going to be getting into basically the deep freezer as we get past this storm coming in. So we're going to be down probably below to single digits to below zero in a lot of places, and then wind chills 10 to 20 below zero at times in some of the same areas here. So the main roads, they may be able to get in better shape, but secondary roads and stuff like that, the roads could be pretty trashy for a while, for most of the rest of the week, possibly because of how cold it's going to be the rest of the week. It's not like these past few storms, especially back in January, where it warmed up within a couple of days and everything melted off the roads within 24 hours. This is not going to be the case, because we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be in the deep cold for the rest of the week, regards to that. So the roads could be, there could be prolonged impacts, is what I'm trying to say, on road conditions. So you need to stay up on your local state. I know there is several states that have their own app for road conditions. So you need to download that so you kind of see what's going on. For example, I know Arkansas, I Drive Arkansas, they have their own app. Same over, I believe, in Missouri as well. So we show you that a lot on our page when we do lives and stuff. So good tools to have, but like I said, major impacts. I think road conditions are going to be absolutely garbage, and it could be that, especially secondary roads, side streets, stuff like that could be impacted for days. So need to stay up on that as well. All right, I know everybody's excited about snow, but freezing rain, I know no one wants to talk about, but this is going to be a possibly a disaster threat, especially for road conditions. And there could be some isolated power outages, especially over here in the Wachitas, maybe even southern Arkansas as well. But your screen here is from the Weather Prediction Center showing at least a glaze of ice. You can see some of the percentages over here, especially across southern Arkansas to northern Louisiana here. We're talking 60 to 70% chance of at least a glaze of ice across the area. So basically, along and south of I 40, long and south of I 40 has the best chance of at least a glaze. But as you get further south here, especially to northern Louisiana, into southern Arkansas and over here towards the Wachitas of west central Arkansas, that has the best chance of at least a glaze. All right, so we look at least a tenth of an inch of ice. A glaze of ice will make roads an absolute nightmare, regardless. Once you get up to a tenth of an inch of ice here, so basically the best chance, Wachitas down here towards Arkansas, Louisiana state line. Basically a 10 to 20% likelihood of at least a tenth an inch of ice down that way. All right, here's the latest GFS. This is 12Z that's come out. So this is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Here's 9. You can see storms or rain breaking out, and really a lot of return flow coming out. I think this is underdone though on some precipitation, but Springfield up to eastern parts of Kansas, snow's already breaking out. This is noon. Northwest Arkansas getting on the action now. Pure snow basically from Tulsa to Springfield, Fayetteville. As we get towards 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, widespread snow, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, very heavy snows. And then basically Fort Smith to Oklahoma City to Little Rock as we get towards later tomorrow. It was basically rush hour tomorrow evening, sleet, freezing rain just south of this. I'm going to show you a little bit more high res model here in just a second, but then this gets out of here by about midnight to 3 a.m. On Wednesday. See, Little Rock to Hot Springs has transitioned to snow. Memphis has transitioned to snow, and snow all the way through parts of Kentucky in through Tennessee. This is getting snow down into parts of Mississippi, into Alabama, even into northern Georgia as well. So, how much precip total are we talking here? So I think this is underdone. Okay, so because we're going to have high ratios, very high ratio snows. Okay, so let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit more. But this is a widespread foot to possibly locally 14, 15 inches. There's going to be a heavy band of snow somewhere across southern Missouri, maybe far northern Arkansas. That's why I'm saying there could be a localized amount, possibly upwards of 16, maybe even 20 inches. It's going to be very localized, though, but especially where this heavier band sets up. But I think a general 8 to 15 inches, basically across far northeastern Oklahoma, far northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. Basically, there's the bullseye regards to this. So another thing I want you to look at here is precipitation. Okay, so we're going to go to precip totals here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit further here. All right, here is Arkansas. All right, so for example, 10 to 1 liquid equivalent. So 10 inches of snow is 1 inch of water, basically, 1 inch of rain, if you melt it all down. So if you took just straight 10 to 1, it would be a widespread 6 to 10 inches across southern Missouri into northern Arkansas. That's straight 10 to 1. That would be 30 degrees, 30 to 32 degrees. We're going to be in the low 20s and falling into the teens. So we're going to be at a 20 to possibly 25 to 1. Okay. So you can take, for example, up here in Springfield, this is just one model. So 0.81, take it times 10 basically. So it'd be 8.1 inches at 10 to 1, but that's at 30 degrees. So we're talking 20 to 1. So you can double these. So this particular model could absolutely actually have 16 inches of snow in Springfield. Okay. And then up here, northern Arkansas, right around Mountain Home to Harrison, could be 10 to 14 inches of snow. If you see what I'm saying here. So it's going to be a light, fluffy snow. It's not going to be wet. As far as you go further south, as this transitions to snow, it will be wet at the or be a 10 to 1 and then ramp up to possibly a 15 to 1 or so as it ends down here towards central Arkansas over towards Memphis. But up here, I'm telling you, from southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, far northern Arkansas, and southern Missouri, your ratios are going to be pretty high. Now, like I said, they're going to start out probably around a 17 to 20 to 1 ratio and then go up from there and possibly end up closer to a 30 to 1. So if you take the middle ground here, basically if you start at a 15 to 1, you're probably looking at a 10 to 16 inches possible across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas if you went with just this one model. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I think when you go over to these Katura, which is supposed to basically recognize how cold it'll be and puts in these numbers, they're underdone. So it's showing basically around a 14 to 1 ratio in northern Arkansas, about a 18, 19 to 1 in southern Missouri. That is too low. There's going to be more than that. So like I said, I think widespread 8 to 15 plus inches is possible, especially into parts of southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, far northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. Okay, then as you get over towards Kentucky into northeastern Tennessee, could be lesser amounts, but still significant snows, and there could be even 2 to 3, possibly 4 inches down here into Little Rock, into Memphis, and then up towards Nashville as well. All right, let's go over the HRRR. All right, so this is 3 a.m. All right, there's basically a wide swath, basically from Kansas over towards Missouri, a little bit lighter and moderate snow breaking out. You're probably like, well, where is all this heavier snow? So we go towards 4 o'clock. Go towards 4 o'clock. If my we'll move here. There we go. 4 o'clock. Still same area. Watch Oklahoma into Texas. This is going to be absolute explosion of basically freezing rain, sleet, and snow here. I think this is a little bit too warm still. I believe this is 6 a.m. Let me double check. Nope, this is 7 a.m. So this is 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. Here's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Here's 12 o'clock. Like I said, I think this freezing rain and is a little bit too far north. It needs to be further south. This is, I think the HRRR is just a little bit too warm here. But I'm just giving you some timing on when to start expecting some of this snow, sleet, freezing rain, winter weather is going to start out here. So if you're in north central Arkansas, looking around possibly noon to 1 o'clock, southern, or you get into Missouri, it's going to start probably in the morning hours, and northwest Arkansas probably in mid morning as well. But this is as we go throughout the afternoon. This is 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Heavy snows across southern Missouri into northern Arkansas, and northeastern Oklahoma. This is starting to get over towards Illinois into Kentucky as we go towards. Let me check the time. One more time here. I'm going to keep this up if you don't mind. I know it's a little bit a little bit smaller, but this is 7 p.m. Actually, let me do that. So this is 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So you got freezing rain, sleet, basically from Memphis to Little Rock. Like I said, I don't think this is cold enough. So I think this will be the freezing rain will be further south, sleet will be further south, and the snow will be further south as well. So this is 9 o'clock tomorrow night, 10, 11, 12. And then as we go into early Wednesday morning, this is 2 o'clock in the morning, still have snow back here to parts of Arkansas, Missouri, back heavy snows getting into Memphis in northern parts of Mississippi. Freezing rain probably into northern Louisiana by this time. Like I said, this model is not cold enough. And then as we get towards tomorrow morning, let me see what time this is again. This is 4 a.m. 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Got possibly heavy snows up here in Alabama, northern Alabama, most of Tennessee, Kentucky. Let me go east really quick here. So there's the timing. Basically, if you can see that on your screen here. So that's 12Z. It goes out to 48 hours. But could be some snow in far northwestern parts of Georgia, snows through Tennessee, and then it's going to head its way towards the Carolinas as we go past there. So let me step out here. So here's Wednesday at midday Wednesday. See snows breaking out, freezing rain into the Carolinas, into northern or to Virginia. And that basically gets out of here, and that sets the stage for some very brutal conditions. So let's go over the possible wind chills. All right, so the 12Z Canadian is out, and it's got heavier snows a little bit further south. So southern Missouri, northern Arkansas has been favored. Northeastern Oklahoma into parts of Kansas, those have been favored areas. So wherever the heavy band sets up, like I said, it could be just right around that Oklahoma, Kansas state line over towards Missouri, Arkansas state line, give or take. But if you're hugging the state line, Missouri, Arkansas, that's basically where the heavier snows are going to be. So basically, I-44 to Highway 62 in Arkansas, I-44 in Missouri to Highway 62, 412 in Arkansas. That's going to be the sweet spot for the heavier snows. Alrighty, as we go into Wednesday, this is basically almost high temperatures, single digits, teens. This could be overdone. This could be even colder than what the models are depicting here. And some of these wind chills are going to be absolutely brutal. Here is wind chills. This is basically going through the day on Wednesday. Below zero, anywhere in the white and beyond. 12 to 20 below zero. You got 30 to 40 below zero up here in the northern plains. Then as we get towards 6 a.m. Thursday, this is going to be brutal wind chills getting into northern Arkansas, possibly 15 to 20 below zero, 21 below zero in Springfield. You head up towards Kansas City, almost 40 below zero wind chills. Got wind chills in the single digits below zero in Dallas. Up here towards Oklahoma City, you're 12 to 15 below zero, 6 in Monroe. You got -7 up here in Memphis. So very brutal, life-threatening conditions coming over the next few days. And this could be some frostbite concerns. So if you have to go out, you need to cover any exposed skin, because if you're outside for a prolonged period of time, frostbite could set in within 15 to 20 minutes or so. And then up here, when you get to 30, 40, 50 below zero wind chills, frostbite could set in within minutes. So need to make sure you have your extremities covered up. All right, let me get this overlay off. All right, so here is the latest thinking. Basically, not really much changes here. So let's start out with the bad news. Basically, freezing rain. So anywhere in the pink here, ice glaze to 1/10 of an inch, could be locally higher amounts, and then sleet could be basically some dusting to 1 inch of sleet. Anywhere in the pink here, there could be some snow mixed in at the end of it, but Ice and sleet will be the most predominant precipitation type. So anyone the darker pink here, ice, I think 10 to a third of an inch or 3/10 of an inch, sorry. Basically from southwest of Little Rock towards the Ouachita, southern Arkansas, far northern Louisiana. I think a tenth, like I said, a tenth to 3/10 of an inch, probably locally higher amounts, and then sleet, maybe some snow in there as well, 1 to 2 inches in the darker pinks here. Now, as we get up to lighter yellow or lighter blues here, 2 to 4 inches of snow, basically from Nashville through Memphis, over just right around just north of Little Rock to north of Fort Smith, and then up here towards the north of the Ohio River Valley as well. Darker blues, 4 to 8. Talking, like I said, north of Memphis, northwestern parts of Tennessee, north of Nashville, most of Kentucky, through St. Louis, Kansas City, through the Fayetteville area. Like I said, they're going to be locally higher amounts, especially with banding, stuff like that. Now, when we get the yellow, 8 to 15 inches, and I may be underdoing amounts in parts of Missouri into northern Arkansas into Kansas here. So Wichita to Springfield, basically Mountain Home, Harrison to Bentonville, Joplin, over towards right around the Poplar Bluff area, over towards southern Illinois. Those are the sweet spots right now at 8:15. Now, like I said, there is going to be a heavier band that could get more than 12 to 16 plus inches of snow, and that's basically that's going to end up somewhere in between I-44 and Highway 62 here in Arkansas. I-44 is right here. Highway 62 is in far northern Arkansas. So anywhere between there, I think where that heavier band could be, and that's where those localized heavier amounts between a foot to 16, 17 inches of snow could be possible. So all depends on where that super heavy band will be. But anywhere in the yellow, I think at least 8 inches is possible, upwards to locally a foot to 15 inches, wherever that heavier banding sets up. And of course, we're going to be having some high ratios as well. So this is based on our late morning update. We'll have a probably another update here in a few hours after National Weather Service does their afternoon updates, and there'll probably be some more advisories and warnings to hand out. But keep up to date with us over on Facebook. We'll have continuous updates over there as well, and on YouTube. All right. So I'll keep this up on your screen so you kind of see your location, where your county's at. Very helpful to know where you're at on the map. All right. So if you know where your county's at, know where your city's at, and kind of know where your state's at as well, that really helps out a ton when it comes to this map. So like I said, I'll keep this up for about a minute or so, and then have a great rest of your day. Now is the time to get prepared for this brutal winter storm that's coming, and then the brutal Arctic cold coming behind it. Like I said, wind chills, bone chilling, pipe busting cold, and it could be some frostbite concerns, especially as we get into late Wednesday night into Thursday.